Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to My Life in Audio Engineering. I am your host. I am your boy, Ian. In today's episode 2, I'm going to be talking about, my life with getting started with audio engineering and my fascination with music and where it all started. Basically, I started out, with my interest in music at a very early age. Watching, VH1 Behind the Music and, obviously just listening to the music and being around music all the time, through radio, through TV. And, I was just enamored by, the kind of lifestyle that these musicians lived back then and still continue to, live to this day. Obviously, it's become a little more intense nowadays because there's an overabundance of content. And there's a lot of less what's the word for it? I can't even think of the word for it. But oh man, I'm stumbling on my words right now, but it's all right. I'm not even gonna edit this out. I'm gonna leave it in there. But what I was trying to say is that there is an overabundance of content nowadays, and there's a lot less exclusivity on being a celebrity. You didn't have to be the top 20 artists or whatever. There's tons of artists now who are getting traction and having their niche following, and that's because of the internet, obviously, and that's great. It's great. And I'm still trying to find my audience as far as my music. I'm still trying to find who I am as a musician, as an artist, as a beat maker. I'm interested in a lot of things. Earlier today, I was watching a video interview about, I forgot who did the interview, but it was an interview on Andrew Wong and his start in making music for YouTube and his YouTube videos and all that stuff. And I thought that was pretty fascinating. He didn't really have a set genre. He had more of an approach where he kind of just made stuff for whatever he felt like, whatever genre it was. He'll make something for that, and he'll make it in a unique way. And I'm not sure if you guys are, keen on any of his content. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably heard his name mentioned before. But, that guy, I'm not trying to emulate, his path or anything like that, but that's exactly what I want to be, as far as not being tied to a genre, being a multi-instrumentalist, continuing to learn, being fascinated by, synths. And another thing he talks about is being modular, a modular synths and hardware synths. And that's something I don't know, I totally geek out about stuff like that. I don't know too much about modular synths or hardware synths. I know some of the basic parameters that are tweaked with synths and all that, like LFOs and oscillators and all that, but he goes into much deeper into hardware synths, and I definitely want to jump in that rabbit hole, but problem is I don't know where to start. And sorry guys, I'm going off on a tangent about Andrew Wong, but check out his content if you don't know anything about his stuff. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Add him on Instagram, dude. That guy is sick. I definitely recommend the guy. But moving on to what I was saying about my path in music. I was always interested in it. I didn't start, but I joined a band in high school. This is around 10th grade. I was really into post-hardcore and emo music and all that. And I had gotten a drum set. I think I was 14 years old. My dad bought me a drum set because I really wanted it from a musician's friend. And it was not the best drum set that you could probably get. Definitely a starter drum set. I think, the company was Pulse, and I think they're just a knockoff for PDP or something like that, but that was my drum kit. You know, I had B8 cymbals. Later down the road, I bought a double pedal. Actually, you know what? I think I bought a double pedal like months later. But yeah, I was really heavily into metalcore. You know, bands like Atreyu and Through the Eyes of the Dead, and hardcore bands like Throwdown and As I Lay Dying. I was a huge fan of those guys. But yeah, that's how I got my start in actually like playing music and all that, playing drums for that band. And we're still cool to this day. And hopefully we can make music at some point later on. Yeah, but definitely that's where I got my start in playing. And then eventually after that fell through, you know, I joined the military in it's like 2009. You know, I had sworn in 2009, and I went in 2010. Didn't do much with music, but I was like I was still, you know, like interested in it. My heart was definitely there. Excuse me while I light the cigarette. And hold up one second. I'm gonna actually take a sip of my coffee. But yeah, so I didn't do much with music while I was in, you know, as a reservist. I did, you know, get a job at a radio station while I was in the reserves, and I was actually, no, before I got the job, sorry, timeline's a little screwed up, but before I got the job, you know, I had interned prior, you know, while going to school. It was funny because the school was actually downstairs from the actual radio station in the same facility. So I would go to my internship and then go to class, and then vice versa. And ultimately, I thought it was going to lead to a job. It didn't. I think it had to do a lot with, excuse me, my inability to be there at events due to the fact that I had drill weekend, which was fine. But you know, later down the road, I think it was like a year or two later. It was actually a year later, but I got a call, you know, from the promotions coordinator, asking if I wanted a job, and you know, I took that job. And that whole experience, you know, I didn't want to like go too deep in that experience, but for the most part, it was my first taste in like being in like the music business, like a fish in that environment. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. You know, I get free concert tickets. You know, I occasionally got to go to meet and greets. You know, I wish I spent a little more time there, but you know, I wouldn't trade, you know, the time that I spent over there for the world. You know, something better came along. But yeah, while I was going to school there, you know, I'm trying to like think of the timeline. It's been a while since I actually really thought about this. But you know, after that fell through, you know, I worked random odd jobs here and there while I was continuing to like educate myself excuse me, in audio engineering and, you know, music production and all that stuff for a good 2 years after I got out of the radio station. Okay, so like 2 years. Sorry, I'm like trying to make sure like I'm being correct with my timeline. But yeah, so 2011 all the way up into 2013. Yeah, okay, so 2011, 2013, you know, I was doing like freelance, you know, working on my own stuff, playing guitar. That's actually when I started guitar, like 2012. I started playing that, which was definitely new to me, you know, learning chords and, you know, just learning all that stuff. But the rhythms, as far as like doing chords and playing rhythm guitar, that came pretty easy to me since I'm a drummer. But something I struggle to this day is just playing leads and playing like one note things and moving around on the fretboard. That's still fresh to me, and I want to definitely get better at that. Definitely do want to get better at that, but you know, that's something I have to practice on the regular, which, you know, I do kind of, but I'm not like really focused on that. only because I have like so much things going on, like I'm trying to learn, and I'm not really the best at, you know, keeping all that organized and making sure that, you know, practice is regimented. It's just like, for me, like whatever I feel like doing, I do it. You know, there's no systematic way of or a systematic way for me to approach practicing any given like discipline. I just do it when I feel like it, and for the most part, I feel like doing all, like at least practicing guitar like once a day, you know, learning some chords here and there, practicing a song, some kind of new kind of song, or practicing engineering. Like let's say I record a beat, then I'll do like the mixing for that day. Or sometimes, like, you know, when I'm using Maschine, you know, I don't really, you know, go out of my way to like mix it, because it sounds pretty decent right off the bat. You know, the sounds that come straight out of Maschine are like great. You know, just add a little bit of reverb, a touch of delay. You know, for the most part, it sounds good. And make sure your balances are correct. Like the drums are not like overtaking the whole song. Like just do a light volume mix through the mixer, through Maschine 2 on the iOS devices. But yeah, before I get too in depth with that process, going back into like the education part. So, you know, I finally went to school in 2015. 2015. It was like a few months before, you know, I ended up getting a girlfriend. And, you know, I did schooling for a while I was trying to balance like my work life as well as having like a girlfriend at the time. And it got pretty hard because the new relationship, you know, obviously new relationships, you kind of like want to consume yourself with that. And that's something I recognize looking back. I didn't really, you know, get as much as I could have when I was at school, due to the fact that I was so consumed in the relationship, when it should have been like the other way around. You know, like I should have been like more focused on my mission. My mission was to learn this shit, like learn this music production stuff, learn the mixing part, learn the mastering, learn all that stuff, while practicing becoming a musician, and, you know, just practicing all the instruments that I played at the time, or which I still play at the time, obviously, but you know what I'm talking about. But so 6 months go by, while, you know, to the day I enrolled, and something funky went around with the school. It had to do with, excuse me, I'm like taking a puff out of my cigarette right now, but it had to do, you know, with the school that was attached to the studio that brought the staff and the curriculum. Something shady was going on there. Long story short, that school was trying to steal that studio's curriculum, from what I hear. I don't know the whole details, and it's not really that important anymore. It's the past, and I think that school is no longer in existence. But the studio is doing great, from what I hear, and that's awesome. You know, I love, you know, like the instructors over there and the manager, and at the time, you know, everyone there was, you know, great when I was like actually in that space. You know, I'm sure they're great now. I haven't been there in a while, but, you know, that's besides the point. But so once that fell through, you know, like I kind of took a big long hiatus on music, and, you know, that was like a big factor in it, like not having that program anymore and being consumed in this new relationship. And then like 4 years go by, and then that relationship ends. You know, obviously, like, you know, I don't know, we're just too different. You know, we're too different, our outlook on life. And, you know, it's unfortunate that it took that long to find that out. But you know, after that ended, you know, I finally went out of my way to continue to pursue music. and being an engineer and, you know, making beats and just consuming myself in the production side of music and everything that has to do with it. That happened like last year. Yeah, last year. We're in 2019 now, and I'm still going strong on the music, and I'm adding more things in the mix as far as like video editing and being more of a creative too, like making my own content and ultimately doing this podcast. And you know, I love it all. You know, I want to do what Andrew Wong does, but I want to do it my way, if that makes any sense for you guys. But yeah, I want to throw in there, the last thing I want to just like throw out there is, it's been a long freaking journey. You know, like there are times where I just wanted to quit. There are times where I just want to just say fuck this, you know, like let me do something else, and it's not going to work for me, you know. But honestly, I'm at my happiest right now. Whenever I'm doing music, whenever I'm making something, whenever I'm being creative, I'm at the happiest I could ever be, because you know, that's ultimately, that's my passion. Like if I can't do that, I'd rather die trying. And if you're a creative out there and you think that there's nothing but struggles for you and that it's not going to work out for you, like truly just think about it. Think about how much joy that passion gives to you. If it gives you so much joy and motivation, you know, just to get better at your craft, just keep at it. There are days where it's just going to be like, why am I doing this, you know? But at the end of the day, you know, like really ask yourself, do you want to be doing some job you don't want to be doing? Or would you rather die trying to do something that you'll never get tired of doing? And we all have one life to live. You know, obviously, YOLO, I don't want to say it, but yeah, we only have one life to live, and just go after that thing. Go after it. No matter how hard it is, go after it. Anyways, you know, that's all I have for you guys. You know, I hope it brings you motivation to do better as a creative and just go for it, and you know, just keep doing it. Just keep hammering on, you know, keep trucking along regardless of how hard it is. I'm happy if I touch somebody. Anyways, have a good one, guys, and you'll see you in the next episode. All right, later.